Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental rune reading for the week of March 22nd through the 28th of 2026. We're almost to the end of March already, if you can believe that. These are general readings, so take what works, leave the rest for someone else. And I read intuitively, so the messages, we'll start with the book and then we'll go from there. And then the other one is, if you've never had your charts read, there is a link in the description to a natal chart. It's one that I personally like to use. It's not sponsored or anything like that. More of just convenient if you needed to find one. So we will get started here with our first elemental energy, which is fire. Fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And fire, you are starting off with the Iawaz rune, which is the rune of the yew tree. Color is dark blue. Tarot association is the Hanged Man, so you're dealing with some water energy here. And astrology is Scorpio, a fair amount of water. Protection, time of death and rebirth, foresight, and perseverance. So fire, this is a time where it's time to do some examining. Try to see what's going on, what's happening in life. If there's something that needs to be let go of, if that's the case, then this is the week to have the death experience. And if it's something that needs to be restarted or woken back up, this is the rebirth. And you might have both in the same week. Don't think that you just have to have one, because the universe likes to pile things on when it gets a chance. But so far, just the starting part of this energy is really about being ready to release some things. And with that Hanged Man energy from the tarot, it's saying there may be a call to re-examine some things. Doesn't mean you have to get rid of it, but there might be a different awareness that's coming up where you have to make some adjustments to how you see the world. And those are actually good things because it gives you the chance to grow. But that's kind of the vibe that we're getting here. Your second rune is the Perth rune, which is the rune of fate. Color is black. Tarot association is the Wheel of Fortune, and astrology is Saturn. So this is a little bit of more earth energy here. But with the Wheel of Fortune, it's also saying there's a cycle coming in. It's meaning, chance, unexpected material gain, and surprises, hidden things coming to light. So fire, what you were getting with these two runes is we have this time for you that there's some changes happening. You know about them, and the Wheel of Fortune is saying it's time to go with the flow. The cycle is just a repeating cycle. You're taking it to the next level, but you've been here, you've kind of done this already. But we also have the energy of the Hanged Man, so maybe it's time to see things from a different perspective and break some patterns, because especially with Saturn coming in, that's that stern father figure energy, and this is where it may be a little uncomfortable. So what's coming in is something that you know you need to do, fire. You don't want to. And that's really what we're getting here. But you also have that Scorpio, so it's a little more of that, you could almost say petulant teenager energy, because it's the fire of water. So there's a little bit of conflict that might be popping up with this. But it's something that needs to happen. It's something that I keep hearing the phrase, you've already done this. This is a repeated pattern, so it's time to break the cycle. So that's where what I'm hearing is, this is not a new thing for you, fire. This is something that you've been through before, and this is the universe calling to you to learn the lesson and break this cycle. You're done. You've moved beyond this. There's no point in carrying it anymore. So this is where you get to free yourself from something this week and allow yourself to really be free and release it. Release it with blessings, because it helped you get where you're at, but at the moment it doesn't really need to be there anymore, is what I'm hearing. So let's hop over to our Earth family, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And Earth, you are starting off with, I have to turn page, Wunjo, which is the rune of joy, and its color is yellow. Tarot association is strength, and astrology is Leo, so you're working with some fire. A sign of happiness and harmony between people, a situation changing for the better. We also have an energy, especially with Leo, of leadership. Could be an aspect of some passion project you're working on where you get to take the lead on it, or it could be that you're put in charge of the new project at work. It could also indicate that it's your turn to your time to step up in matters of home, where you're the one who makes the plan. You make the plan to propose. You make the plan to talk to your spouse about the new house. You're the one who kind of is leading the charge here. What I'm getting is this is going to require a lot of inner strength, the divine will, the capital W one. It's not just that simple will of, oh, I'm not going to have dessert tonight. This is that we need to make this decision, and we need to make it soon, is the energy that's coming in here. And with Leo, it's saying you, Earth, are the one who gets to lead this charge. Like it or not, but that's kind of what's happening. And the beauty of that is, with this Leo energy, the lion, this is a very strong energy that ties in with that strength card. And Moonjo is saying this is what's going to lead to the joy. You might have to be uncomfortable for a minute or two, but in the long run, this is going to work out best for you. So be okay with the being pushed into a leadership position for a minute, because the outcome is actually going to be really beneficial, is what I'm getting. Your second rune is the Uraz rune, which is color of dark green. Terra association is the High Priestess. And astrology is Taurus, so you're, working with a lot of your own energy with this one. Creative power, wisdom, and knowledge, good fortune, opportunity, and some amorous energy coming in there, Earth. Well, with these two runes, it's really a good indicator that you're going to be moving towards joy, peace, and harmony. The High Priestess is someone who grants wishes. This is a good luck energy. And you also have Taurus, which is very grounding, very stable. So whatever is shifting and changing for you, which isn't strong, but you're being called to lead the next branch of this situation. And what I'm seeing with that is you're moving into the position where the hearth, the home, the family life, things are changing, but it's changing into a stable environment. If you're proposing, this is you're like, you guys are going to do well. If you're moving into this new home, this is the long-term home. If it's dealing with work, this is your position that you've been looking for a while, consciously or unconsciously. But what I'm seeing here is this is your time to shine, and you're being the universe is pushing you a little bit, Earth. Like, this is what you've wanted to do for a minute. Like, people around you are like, why don't you just do this? Like, it makes sense. This week, the universe is pretty much saying, you need to just get off the pot and do this. So you're being pushed in the best possible way, but I'm getting this impression here that this is going to be something that needs to happen. Like it or not, the universe is just going to kind of line things up for you. So be open to these new experiences and changes. Let's hop over to our air family, which is, and I should know this by now, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you are Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your chart, we're starting you guys off with, this is an interesting rune to start with. It's the Isa rune, which is the rune of ice. It is, Terra association is the Hermit, color is black, and astrology is the moon. So you're working a little bit with some water energy here. This rune denotes an obstacle, coldness between people, and a time to observe and keep silent. Refrain from comment. Air. When this rune shows up, I always get this impression that it's time to step away from the active participation in life. It is time to step back and observe. The hermit sits up on the mountaintop watching. They observe. They see what's happening from a higher perspective. Now, you may have someone approach you. That's a little different. But you're not the one doing active. This is your week to pull back, figure out what's going on, because there's a change occurring here. Or maybe there's something that you need to observe so that you can understand it differently, because I keep seeing this energy that you're a little bit frustrated by where you're at, and it's because you're looking at it from here, and the Isa rune is saying elevate, go to the higher perspective and observe it from a higher perspective, and it's going to make sense at that point. But if you stay down here in the situation, you won't be able to see the full outcome because you can't see the forest for the trees type thing. Your second rune is the Jira rune, which is the rune of the year. Color is light blue. Terra association is the Fool. And astrology is Earth. This could be an interesting read because Earth is opposite of air, so this is a challenge. The cycles of nature and life, something coming to fruition, effort, receiving reward. Air. You have the Fool and the Hermit, meaning it's time to step away, because if you don't, you may stumble. Is it a permanent stumble? No, because the Fool's stumble is getting him started, getting her started. It's the energy of beginnings, where you don't know enough to really speak on the subject, but you're going to try anyway, even if it doesn't really work out that well. And that's this energy that's coming in with Earth as your element, or astrological alignment. It's also saying you might want to just stay grounded this week. Really get clear on this drawing down energy and anchoring in. This week is going to be a week where it's best to pull back and step away. No reason to be super active in situations. Like if it's a work thing, just stay out of it this week. If it's an at-home thing, maybe it's time to reevaluate how things are going. Because if it's just like, okay, pause that. What's the root of the situation here? And that might mean, counseling or therapy or something along those lines. Or it could be just asking the question. Don't assume that you know the other person's thought patterns, because that's not always a good thing. But what I'm seeing here is this is a challenge because you have Earth, which is your opposite, and this is dealing with finances, hearth, and home. So that could be where the situation that needs to be stepped away from is, where you just have to observe it from that higher perspective. So Air, be open to some new ideas, some new images. They're also laughingly saying, be open to some new visions too, because you might actually get some of that this week, especially if you're more intuitive than normal. But I'm really feeling this energy that there's something new happening, and you need to step away, the Hermit, to be able to really understand it, because if you don't, the missteps, which is the Fool, are going to compound. But this is not a negative. Even if you don't pull away and observe it, and you take the Fool's route where you kind of slip and fall and bumble through, you'll end up on the other side okay. One is no activity and observe, allow things to play out and understand. The other one is active, where you bumble through it and then come to the other side and understand. So both directions, you're going to come out on the same outcome, but it's your choice as to which direction. So that's where Air's at. You have some decisions to make. Let's take a peek at our water energy, our Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, all of our fishies out there. And water, you are starting out with the blank rune, which is the weird or word rune, another rune of fate. It is mysteries and fate, the unknown, to have trust and faith. So water, you're starting off with a direct call. Get in contact with your guides and guardians, pray, meditate, and allow yourself to follow the flow of existence this week. This is not a time for you to consciously struggle or fight, or we're going to champion a cause. Not this week. Water, because this is a fated week, meaning you've put things in play. There's stuff that's happening behind the scenes. There's stuff that you have put into the vortex if you watch Abraham Hicks, and you're bringing in something this week. And your call to action is to chill. Be open to the experience. And water, this is easy for you. Go with the flow. Really just let yourself enjoy this week and not stress over it, because it's going to happen because the work you've already done, and that's that fated energy. Your second rune is Fehu, which is the color of light red. Tarot association is the Tower. And astrology is Aries. So this is not going to be an easy thing to force yourself to relax. Good luck, success, fertility, and harmony. Now, what's interesting when we look at these two runes, one is saying fate, one is saying action. But it's not action in a super powerful way. It's Aries, so it's going to be flashy, it's going to be quick, and then it's over. But you also are being told there's a lot of good luck here. There's a lot of success. The things that you've wanted are going to start to line up this week. You might only get one step, which is still success, or the whole thing might fall into your lap. We don't know yet. We haven't got to Friday. But what I'm seeing is this is a time where you get to let the situation go and move with the flow. Now, the Tower in this aspect might be a little bit of an interesting one, because your Tower is creative destruction. So as you're going with the flow over here, you may end up having moments where something feels like it's falling apart, where something is being destroyed, where something you thought was impenetrable and you have to hold on to it suddenly falls through your fingers like sand. Let it go. That's not going to be easy for you because you want to start something over it. But by allowing this energy to flow out, this tower moment to clean things up, by the end of the week, there'll be a new beginning that's actually really important to you. Something that's you've been looking for is going to be brought forward. Whatever that is, that's for you to figure out. But that's the energy here. This week is just chill, let things go. Don't stress about it. Lower that cortisol a little bit, and then allow the universe to take the things out that you don't need. You'll be able to keep the important stuff. Tower is creative destruction. Take away the dross, keep the diamonds. That's what's coming up here. By the end of the week, you're going to see the positive outcome from that. And they're saying that this may sound a little scary, but it's not. It's going to be really easy because it's not meant to be stressful for water this week. So overall, the energy of this week is really interesting because I feel that there's going to be not a lot of hyper action. Like, you're not going to be out doing and jumping around and, creating new worlds. I mean, you might be, but that's more of your decision, not the universe. But it's definitely going to create the space for us all four elements, to grow into who we are. There's this energy of completion and new beginning that's coming forward, which also ties into a little bit of the equinox energy, meaning we're in balance this week. And it's also saying it's time to let go of the past. It's time to move into the future. And so for a lot of the elements, letting go of the past is going to be pretty easy. Air, you might have a little more of a challenge this week, but that's not meaning you're going to end up in a bad place. Everyone's going to move ahead this week. It's just being willing to go with the flow and allow yourself the gift of stillness. So with that, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions, and I will see you in the next video.